Listen, I'm going to tell you something most people don't have the courage to say out loud. Somebody walked out of your life like you were optional. Like what you gave, what you built, what you felt could just be replaced. They chose someone else. And now you're sitting there wondering, was I not enough? Let me stop you right there. This ain't about you not being enough. This is about somebody not recognizing value when it was standing right in front of them. See, people don't always lose you because you did something wrong. Sometimes they lose you because they got comfortable. They thought you'd always be there. They thought they could do better. And now you're left with the pain, the questions, the silence. But here's what they didn't count on. They didn't count on you rising. They didn't count on you choosing yourself. And they definitely didn't count on the day they look back and realize they didn't just lose someone. They lost the one person who genuinely had their back. So today, I'm not here to help you chase anybody. I'm here to show you exactly what to do next. So that one day, without you saying a word, they feel your absence so deeply, it turns into regret. The first thing you have to understand is this. Chasing someone who already walked away doesn't bring them back. It pushes them further. When a person decides to leave you for someone else, they've already made a choice. And the moment you start running after them, trying to convince them, trying to prove your worth, trying to remind them of what you had, you are silently telling them that your value depends on their decision. That's where the real damage begins. See, there's a difference between fighting for love and begging for attention. Fighting for love happens when two people are willing to meet each other halfway. Begging happens when you're the only one putting in effort, the only one losing sleep, the only one replaying memories, hoping they'll suddenly wake up and realize what they lost. But let me be honest with you, people don't respect what they can easily walk away from and still have access to. Every message you send after they ignore you, every call you make hoping they'll pick up, every time you check their social media to see if they're thinking about you, you are giving away pieces of your dignity. And the hard truth is, the more available you make yourself after they've chosen someone else, the less valuable you appear in their eyes. Not because you're actually less valuable, but because your actions are telling a story that says, I'll stay no matter how I'm treated. And that story has to change. Reclaiming your self-respect starts with a decision, not a feeling, not a hope, a decision. A decision that you will no longer go where you are not chosen. A decision that you will not compete for a position that should have been yours by default. Because real love doesn't put you in a race against someone else. Real love doesn't make you feel like you have to outperform another person just to be seen. You have to draw a line even if your voice shakes while doing it. That line says, you had access to me when I was giving you everything, and you chose differently. Now you don't get the same version of me anymore. And yes, it's going to hurt. You're going to feel the urge to reach out, to explain yourself one more time, to ask questions you already know the answers to. But discipline is choosing your long-term dignity over your short-term comfort. The moment you stop chasing is the moment the power dynamic shifts. Because now instead of you trying to prove your worth, you are standing in it. You are no longer reacting to their choices. You are creating your own boundaries. And boundaries are not about punishing them. They are about protecting you. What most people don't realize is that chasing keeps you emotionally stuck in the same place. You can't heal while you're still hoping they'll come back. You can't grow while you're still trying to hold on to someone who let go. And you definitely can't move forward while your energy is tied to someone who already redirected theirs elsewhere. Let them go. Not because they deserve peace, but because you deserve it. And understand this clearly. Walking away with self-respect doesn't mean you didn't care. It means you cared enough about yourself to not tolerate being second choice. It means you recognize that your time, your energy, your love are not things to be handed out to someone who couldn't see their worth. There's a quiet strength in pulling back. No drama, no long explanations, no desperate attempts to be understood. Just a calm, firm decision to remove yourself from a situation that no longer honors you. That silence, it speaks louder than any argument ever could. Because when you stop chasing, something powerful happens. You start seeing things more clearly. You start realizing that the version of them you were holding on to might even be real anymore. You start noticing how much of yourself you were sacrificing just to keep them comfortable. And slowly, piece by piece, you begin to come back to yourself. And that's the real goal here. Not getting them back, not making them jealous, not proving a point. It's becoming someone who no longer feels the need to chase what has already walked away. The next thing you have to do is turn all that energy you were pouring into them back into yourself. And I'm not talking about surface level distractions or pretending you're okay. I'm talking about real, uncomfortable, unhonest self-growth. The kind that forces you to face who you are when nobody's watching and nothing is numbing the pain. Because here's the truth most people avoid. When someone leaves you for someone else, it doesn't just hurt your heart. It shakes your identity. You start questioning everything, your worth, your attractiveness, your value, your choices. And if you don't take control of that moment, you'll start rebuilding yourself based on rejection instead of truth. So instead of asking, why wasn't I enough for them? You need to start asking, who do I need to become for myself? That shift right there changes everything. Self-growth isn't about becoming someone new to impress them. It's about returning to who you were before you started shrinking yourself to fit into their expectations. It's about strengthening the parts of you that got ignored, rebuilding the confidence that got chipped away, and creating a version of yourself that doesn't depend on anyone else's validation. And let's be clear, this isn't easy. Growth requires discipline when your emotions are all over the place. It requires showing up for yourself on days when all you want to do is stay stuck in memories. It means going to the gym when your mind is heavy, reading when you'd rather scroll, learning new skills when your confidence feels low. It's choosing progress even when your heart is still healing, because every small action you take is a message to yourself. I am worth investing in. You start taking care of your body, not for revenge, not for attention, but because you respect yourself enough to be strong, healthy, and energized. You start sharpening your mind, learning, growing, expanding, so you're not trapped in the same patterns that kept you stuck before. You start working on your emotional strength, understanding your triggers, your boundaries, your standards, so the next time love comes into your life, you're not giving from a place of fear or insecurity, and something interesting happens along the way. The more you focus on yourself, the less obsessed you become with them. Not because you're forcing yourself to forget, but because your life is slowly becoming fuller without them. You start having moments where you don't think about them at all. You start enjoying your own company again. You start realizing that the love you were chasing externally was something you could build internally. That's power. Most people stay stuck because they make their healing dependent on closure from the other person. They wait for an apology, an explanation, a sign that they mattered. But real growth happens when you stop waiting for that and start giving yourself the closure they never will. You accept what happened, not because it was fair, but because it's real. And once you accept it, you can finally move forward instead of living in a loop of what ifs and why not me. And here's the part nobody talks about enough. Self-growth makes you more attractive, but not in the way you think. It's not just about looking better or appearing more confident. It's about the energy you carry. When you've done the work, when you faced your pain instead of running from it, when you've built yourself up without needing anyone else, you walk differently, you speak differently, you choose differently, you no longer tolerate confusion, you no longer chase mixed signals, you no longer settle for half-hearted effort because now you know your worth without needing someone else to confirm it. And ironically, that's often when people from your past start noticing you again. Not because you changed for them, but because you changed for yourself. Your absence combined with your growth creates a contrast they can't ignore. They start comparing what they have now to what they lost, and suddenly the version of you they took for granted looks a lot more valuable. But by that point, something inside you has shifted. You're no longer growing to be chosen. You're growing because you've already chosen yourself, and that's a completely different level of confidence. So don't waste this pain. Don't rush to replace it or distract yourself from it. Use it. Let it push you into becoming stronger, wiser, more self-aware. Let it teach you what you deserve, what you won't tolerate, and what you need to work on within yourself. Because at the end of the day, the greatest comeback isn't getting them back. It's becoming someone who no longer needs them to feel complete. One of the hardest but most powerful moves you can make after someone leaves you for someone else is creating real distance. Not partial distance, not silence, while still watching their every move. Real distance, the kind that forces both you and them to experience life without each other's presence. Because here's the truth, as long as you're still around in some form, liking their posts, replying to their stories, checking in just as a friend, or keeping the door slightly open, they will never fully feel your absence. You become a comfort option, a backup presence, something familiar they can return to whenever they feel uncertain. And that position will slowly destroy your self-worth. Distance is not about playing games, it's about removing access. When someone chooses to walk away from you, they are choosing a life without you in it. But if you continue to make yourself available after that decision, you are interfering with the natural consequences of their choice. You're softening the impact. You're making it easier for them to move on while still benefiting from your emotional presence. And that has to stop. Creating distance means no unnecessary communication, no checking up on them, no responding instantly if they suddenly reach out without real intention. It means stepping back completely so that your energy is no longer tied to their actions. And yes, it's going to feel uncomfortable. You'll feel the urge to break that distance, especially in moments of loneliness or nostalgia. Your mind will try to convince you that reaching out just once won't hurt. But every time you break that distance, you reset your healing. Distance is what allows clarity to enter your life. When you're constantly exposed to someone, whether physically or digitally, you stay emotionally attached. Your brain keeps them active in your thoughts. Your feelings stay triggered and you remain stuck in a cycle that doesn't allow you to move forward. But when you step back, when you truly remove them from your daily awareness, something shifts. At first, it feels like withdrawal. You miss them more. You notice their absence in everything, but that's part of the process. You're not just missing the person. You're breaking a habit, an emotional dependency, a routine your mind got used to. And then slowly things begin to change. You start thinking more clearly. You begin to see the relationship for what it actually was, not just what you hoped it would be. You remember the moments you ignored, the red flags you justified, the ways you compromised yourself just to keep things together. Distance gives you perspective that closeness never could. And here's the part most people overlook. Distance doesn't just affect you, it affects them too. When you're no longer present, no longer reachable, no longer predictable, it creates a void. And that void is something they have to sit with. They no longer have access to your attention, your support, your energy. The things they once took for granted are suddenly gone. Now, this doesn't mean they'll immediately regret their decision. Sometimes at first they feel relief, they feel free. They're distracted by the new person, the new excitement, the change. But over time, reality sets in. The novelty fades, and that's when comparisons begin. That's when they start remembering how you showed up, how you cared, how you understood them in ways others didn't. And because you're no longer there, those memories hit differently. But here's the key. You don't create distance to make them miss you. That might happen, but it's not the purpose. The purpose of distance is to protect your peace and give yourself the space to heal and grow. Because if you're only creating distance as a strategy to get them back, you'll eventually break it the moment you feel weak. But when you understand that distance is for you, not them, it becomes easier to maintain. You start valuing your own peace more than temporary comfort. You start choosing silence over situations that drain you. You start realizing that not every connection needs to be maintained, especially if it comes at the cost of your self-respect. And something powerful happens in that silence. You begin to reconnect with yourself. Your thoughts are no longer consumed by what they're doing, who they're with, or how they feel about you. Your energy returns to you. Your focus shifts. Your life starts to expand beyond the space they once occupied. That's when healing truly begins, because you can't heal in the same environment that hurt you. You can't grow while staying emotionally attached to someone who already let go. And you can't move forward if you're constantly looking back. Distance is not loss. It's separation for clarity, for strength, for growth. And in that space, you don't just learn how to live without them. You learn how to live for yourself again. One of the biggest mistakes people make after being left for someone else is keeping their entire life emotionally centered around that one person. Even after the relationship ends, their routines, their thoughts, their decisions, everything somehow still connects back to them. They wake up thinking about what that person is doing. They go through the day comparing everything to the past. And they go to sleep replaying memories that no longer serve them. And without realizing it, they stay stuck in a life that no longer exists. If you want to truly move forward, and if you want to reach a point where their absence doesn't control your emotions anymore, you have to build a life that doesn't revolve around them, not partially, completely. Because here's the truth, when your world becomes too centered on one person, you slowly lose your sense of individuality. You start prioritizing their needs over your own, adjusting your schedule around their availability, and finding your happiness in their presence instead of within yourself. So when they leave, it doesn't just feel like you lost them. It feels like you lost your entire world. That's why rebuilding your life is not optional. It's necessary. You have to start filling your time and your energy with things that have nothing to do with them. And at first, it's going to feel forced. You might go out and still think about them. You might try new things and still feel that emptiness in the background. But that doesn't mean it's not working. It just means you're in the early stages of detaching. Start with your routine. Change it. Break the patterns that remind you of them. If you used to talk to them late at night, replace that time with something else. Reading, working out, learning something new, or even just sitting with your thoughts without reaching for your phone. If certain places trigger memories, explore new environments. Give your mind new experiences so it's not constantly looping through the past. Then focus on building connections that are not romantic. Friends, family, mentors, people who bring value into your life without emotional confusion. Too many people jump from one relationship to another trying to fill a void, but all that does is delay healing. What you need is genuine connection, not replacement. And more importantly, you need purpose. Because when your life has direction, when you're working towards something meaningful, whether it's your career, your education, your passion, or your personal goals, you naturally stop obsessing over what you lost. Your focus shifts from, why did this happen to me, to what can I create from here? That shift is everything. You start setting goals that excite you. You start waking up with intention instead of anxiety. You begin to see your life as something you're actively building, not something that was taken away from you. And slowly, that empty space they left behind gets filled, not by another person, but by your own growth, your own achievements, your own experiences. And here's something important to understand. Building a life that doesn't revolve around them doesn't mean you erase the past. It means you stop letting it control your present. You can still remember. You can still feel. But those memories no longer dictate your mood, your actions, or your sense of self-worth. You become independent again, not just physically, but emotionally. You no longer need constant validation. You no longer feel incomplete when you're alone. You start enjoying your own company, making decisions based on what's best for you, not what would impress or attract someone else. And that kind of independence is powerful. Because now, if they ever look back into your life, they won't see someone who is still waiting, still hurting, still stuck. They'll see someone who moved forward. Someone who built something meaningful without them. Someone who didn't let heartbreak define their future. But again, that's not the goal. The goal is for you to reach a point where their opinion, their presence, or their absence no longer has power over you. Where your happiness isn't dependent on whether they regret losing you or not. And that only happens when your life becomes bigger than the relationship you lost. So, stop keeping them at the center of your story. Stop making them the main focus of your thoughts. Start redirecting that energy into building something that belongs entirely to you. Because at the end of the day, your life was never meant to revolve around one person. It was meant to grow far beyond them. There's a level of power most people never tap into. And it's not loud, it's not dramatic, and it doesn't require you to prove anything to anyone. It's your silence combined with your progress. Not the kind of silence that's filled with resentment or hidden hope, but the kind that comes from clarity. The kind where you no longer feel the need to explain yourself, defend your worth, or remind someone of what they lost. You simply move forward and you let your life speak for you. Because here's the truth. When someone leaves you for someone else, they expect a reaction. They expect emotion, questions, maybe even desperation. They expect you to chase, to argue, to try to change their mind. And when you don't give them that, when you step back and become silent, it creates something they didn't prepare for. Uncertainty. Your silence removes their sense of control over how the story continues. They can't predict you anymore. They can't measure your feelings through your words or your actions. And that unknown space becomes louder than anything you could have said. But silence alone isn't enough. Because if you're silent on the outside, but still emotionally stuck on the inside, it eventually shows. True power comes when your silence is backed by real growth. When your life starts changing in ways that don't involve them at all. You begin to elevate yourself mentally, emotionally, physically. You invest in your goals, your confidence, your discipline. You become more focused, more self-aware, more grounded. And over time, that transformation becomes visible. Not because you're trying to show it off, but because it's real. People notice real change. And when that change comes from someone they once had full access to, it hits differently. They start to see that you didn't break the way they expected you to. You didn't stay stuck. You didn't spend your time trying to win them back. Instead, you redirected all that energy into becoming a stronger version of yourself. And that creates contrast. The version of you they left versus the version of you you've become. That contrast is where regret begins. Because now, it's no longer about what they have, it's about what they lost. They begin to question their decision. They wonder if they underestimated you. They compare what they have now to what they experienced with you. And slowly, the realization sets in that what they walked away from wasn't something easily replaceable. But here's the part you need to understand clearly. You don't control when or if they feel that regret. You don't control their thoughts, their emotions, or their timing. And if your actions are still tied to trying to trigger that response, you're still giving them power. The goal is not to make them regret it. The goal is to become someone who doesn't need that regret to feel validated. Because when your focus is truly on your own growth, something shifts internally. You stop looking back as often. You stop wondering what they're thinking. You stop needing closure from someone who couldn't give you consistency. You start living in a way that feels right for you, not in a way that sends a message to them. And that's when your silence becomes genuine. It's no longer a tactic. It's a reflection of your peace. You don't respond to every message, not because you're playing hard to get, but because you've learned to protect your energy. You don't explain your absence because you understand that people who truly value you don't need constant reminders. You don't revisit the past because you've already accepted it and moved forward. And your success, whether it's in your career, your mindset, your health, or your lifestyle, becomes something you enjoy for yourself, not something you use to prove a point. That's real freedom. Because now, even if they do come back, even if they express regret, even if they try to reconnect, you're not in the same place anymore. You're not the same person they left. You've grown, you've learned, and most